Remember, we do this every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central, right here on this YouTube channel. So if you want me to cover a topic, go down in the comments of this recording and post a question. Or if you disagree, like, hey, I think intermittent is total trash, you can put that in the comments too. Or if you have a question you want me to cover, put it down in there and I will absolutely cover it in a future episode. But basically, this show is about me talking about some different myths and on training and dieting. And one of the things that people bring up is something called intermittent fasting. People will cut out food mainly to lose weight. And for this one, I call it worth it. It's definitely something that you can use. A restricted feeding window can be a good thing whenever you're trying to lose weight. And that's because you're cutting down the amount of time that you can eat during the day. And so the less time you have to eat during the day, technically the less amount of food you eat. And so it all goes back to what we talked about last time. Losing weight is very, very simple. It's a simple equation. You have to eat less than your body uses every day, consistently. You have to eat 3,500 calories less than your body needs to burn off 1 pound of fat. So you have to do this pretty consistently. But yeah, people use this to basically just cut down the amount of food they eat. A lot of people talk about uh, they talk about intermittent fasting as this magical thing, right? To help them lose weight, and it's like the only way to lose weight is to do intermittent fasting, but it's not the only way. Essentially, all you're doing is you're just limiting the timetable or the amount of time per day that you're eating. So you technically should be eating less calories than your body is using. Thus, you start to lose weight. And it can come off pretty rapidly at first, but most of that's water weight because you're not eating, you're not replenishing your muscles with glycogen. Your liver has to excrete out glucose, and your body has to turn other things and fat, etc., into glucose to keep your body running and keep your brain running because your brain runs on glucose. So there's no magic in it. All it is just you're restricting the amount of food that you're eating. So I think it's worth it. If it works for you, I say try it, see if it works for you. For me, it doesn't work too well. I I do, I guess, some restrictive time period eating. Like in the morning, I'll do morning fasted cardio. So when I wake up, I'll usually have like some kind of caffeine. So either through black coffee or something like that. And then I'll get on the treadmill or the stair climber or the elliptical, and I will do my cardio first thing in the morning. And so I guess I do a little bit of restricted fasting in the morning because I delay my first meal until I'm done with that cardio session. So about an hour or two, I'll be up. But I'm usually sipping on like essential amino acids or something while I'm doing that cardio, just to give my body some those essential proteins while I'm doing it. You don't have to do that. It's just something I do. But I find that it helps me, especially if I'm dieting and my calories are very low. I will use those essential amino acids just to make sure that I'm trying to preserve as much muscle as I can, especially when you're in a calorie deficit. Um, what about skipping breakfast then eating lunch? You know, I'm okay with that. I think as long as you get your meal in. I don't like to go too long without food myself, and that's just for me because I'm doing a lot of weight training and things like that. I would not do one thing. I would not do is intermittent fasting around a strength training window. I would not do that. I think the body needs those essential proteins in order to preserve and repair muscles. So by restricting yourself from protein and those essential amino acids, I think you're putting yourself a little bit at risk, and you're probably putting your performance at risk, and you can't lift as much. But I do have a lot of friends that do fasted workouts, um, uh, and they say that fasted strength training is like the only way they'll train, and it works for them. These guys are huge, so I think everybody's different. Like I think that's what this always comes down to is that you got to find something that works for you and just try it and see if it works for you. And if it doesn't, then that's okay. You just go try something else. So um so yeah, so intermittent fasting, I call it worth it. There are some gotchas that I want to cover real quick about that. First of all, uh what some people can do though is it leads to binge eating. So they'll basically fast like all day and then they'll eat this massive meal at the end of the day. And that massive meal can be like 4 or 5 thousand calories, because they're either going out to eat or they're just eating a lot of processed foods or calorie dense foods. And it doesn't take a lot, man. Like if you eat a muffin from the store, that could be 400 to 600 calories right there. If you're drinking a coffee and you're pouring a ton of creamer in there, that could be another 200 calories. So these things stack up. So you got to watch that with intermittent fasting. Is that it may cause a condition to where you've built up so much hunger that you end up binge eating at the end of the day and eating more calories than you need, and then boom, you're not going to lose weight that way. So there's a small rub to it that you got to watch for. I do believe, though, in breakfast, I eat the largest amount of protein in the morning when I wake up, or after I do my fasted cardio. I do believe in getting a big bulbous dose of protein first thing in the day. Um, that's for me. That's doing strength training and putting on muscle. That's because I want muscle protein synthesis to kick off first thing in the morning. So I want my body to be able to process proteins and process that through the day and build muscle for me, and repair muscle all through the day. And that can last for hours if you eat enough of that bulbous amount of protein. So I'm talking maybe 50 to 60 grams is usually of complete proteins is usually what I have for breakfast. So I do believe in that. That's helped me quite a bit, and it works for me. I've put on a decent amount of muscle. So I do believe in getting as much protein as you can first thing in the morning. Well, I'm going to get back into the show. This is a great bodybuilding show here in Austin. I'm having a great time seeing my friend Hunter from this gym right here where I work out, DFW Texas Iron. Um, so this is from Midlothian, Texas, is where I work out. No air conditioning, just raw weights, just like Ronnie Coleman did. Um, yeah, creatine, just to answer that one real quick before I sign off. Yeah, creatine, I'm a big believer in creatine. I take 10 to 15 grams of it a day. I think it has fantastic health benefits from a strength training perspective. A human study where they deprived a bunch of people sleep and then gave them a test and then gave them creatine and then gave them that same test. And they actually all, I think most of them did better. So I'll try to find that study. I'll link it below. If I can find it, I'll link it below so y'all can see that. But so there's definitely some cognitive benefits to creatine. I would definitely see that. It can affect your gut. It does me. Like if I try to take any more than 5 grams at a time, it will blow my stomach up. I also take it with food. That seems to help, but I limit it to 5 grams at a time. And I take it before I work out. I take it intra workout, and I definitely take it after the workout. So usually 5 grams before, 5 grams intra, 5 grams after. And that's how I get my 15 grams. So hopefully that helps your question. All right. Well, thanks for joining this today. I really appreciate it. Hope you learned something about intermittent fasting. If you're on your health journey, keep up the great work. I know you can do it.